One of the single biggest mistakes that most auto styling shop owners make is staying busy, not productive. Staying busy feels like you're getting work done, feels like you're moving the business forward, but the truth is you're not. You're doing the things that you want to do, maybe actually servicing your customers, things that are easy, but not the things that matter and not the things that are actually going to push the business to the next level and help you drive revenue forward. And if you've been stuck at the same revenue level for several months, maybe even years, the reason is probably because while you've been working hard on the wrong things and you've been staying busy, not productive. And that's why your business is not growing the way you want. So in this short video, over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you clarity on exactly how to find out what you need to work on and then how to actually execute on that to push your business forward as fast as possible. And just to give you some context, this is the exact framework that allowed me to scale my first ever shop from 0 to a 30K per month run rate in 12 days. And it's also the same framework that I've used to help 100 plus other shops across the country scale extremely quickly, taking some shops from plateaued at $10,000 a month to hitting $30, $40, and even $50,000 a month in the next 60 to 90 days. So the first thing that you're going to need to do if you want your business to experience rapid growth is identify the main problem. Just like Alex Hormozy says, a business guy, he's on YouTube, he does podcasts, you can look him up if you don't know who he is. Just like he says, a business will grow until it hits its main constraint. In other words, typically you're going to have one big problem in your business that is stopping you from moving forward and that is actually holding the business back. Sure, there's going to be tons of other small problems, but they're not what is actually holding the business back, keeping it at its current level, but rather the one main issue or the one bottleneck that you have is what actually needs to get solved to push things forward. So if your business is stuck, for example, under $20,000 a month, your biggest bottleneck is, I can say with almost 100% certainty, just going to be getting more customers. Any other small issues that you may have would probably automatically be solved or simply not matter anymore if you were bringing in more customers and able to consistently make 20K plus per month, because typically that's where you're going to get to actually start hiring people, maybe at a shop and that type of thing. So, if you are under 20K a month, just to go a little deeper on this example, you might be worried about, what's the product cost? How much is my shop cost if I've already got one? Should I hire an employee? All of these little things that, sure, they matter, but at the end of the day, you taking your product cost from 10% of your revenue down to 8% is not going to make as big of a difference as going from $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month. So rather than focusing on solving these small issues that, again, don't push the business forward, this theory is about converting your attention to doing what's actually going to move things forward and help me rapidly grow. So the first thing you need to do in order to take your work from busy work to productive work is figure out what is that big issue. So like I said, if you're under $20,000 a month, there's a very large chance that your issue is just getting enough customers in. And luckily for you, that's going to be a pretty easy issue to fix. Now, as obvious as this may sound, finding the biggest issue, fixing that, most auto styling shop owners that I talk to honestly just aren't focusing on it. They're focusing on, again, all these little things, maybe doing all the work themselves rather than hiring where they need to, and it's causing their business to be plateaued. I've talked to dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of shops who are stuck between the $30,000 to $50,000 revenue range, and they just can't break out of it. And typically the reason is because they lack systems to actually help them scale, and they don't have the time, or they don't think they have the time to move themselves out of the business, create those systems before coming back in to execute. So they do the work they've got, maybe spend a bit of time here and there trying to bring more work, build systems, but that's it. They do the busy work, they don't block time to actually do what's going to move the business forward, and that is why they stay stuck. So once you've actually found the problem, found where your time is going, because that's going to be step 2 after you find the problem, figure out currently where is your time being invested, because where your time is invested is where things are going to get solved, where things are going to improve in efficiency. And if your time is just being invested into completing the actual jobs or meaningless back-end work, then yes, that work is going to get done good, but you have to ask yourself, as I've touched on 1,000 times in this video, is that the work that needs to be done to push the business to that next level? Now, once you found that, where your time is going, if you aren't already spending at least 4 hours a day, which 99.9% of you guys watching this are not already doing 4 hours a day, trying to solve the main problem of the business, then you need to find a way to do that. 4 hours is going to be the bare minimum that you should be spending on a daily basis to solve the main bottleneck in an efficient time manner and get that fixed. Now, one of the best ways to actually just dedicate that 4 hours, find that extra 4 hours, because many people say they don't have time, is number one, block 4 hours at the start of every day. Work only on that main issue, nothing else, for the first 4 hours of the day. Now, to do this, you're probably going to have to wake up earlier, maybe 5, 6, and then work straight until 9 or 10 whenever that 4 hour block hits. Otherwise, you could do 2 hours at the start, 2 hours at the end. Those are the two ways I've personally found best. By all means, do whatever you find is going to be best for you and most consistent, or you're able to reliably do over the long term. Because at the end of the day, 1 week of 4 hour work blocks daily is not going to fix your business. You're going to need to do that for a consistent period of time over the long term. Now, it's nice to have these 4 hours blocked. It's nice to know the problem that you're trying to solve and where your time is going. But at the end of the day, you need to know exactly during those 4 hours that you've got blocked off, what are you actually doing? You know what you need to fix, but what actions are you taking that are going to fix that problem and push the business? Now, you need to identify the exact actions, or else you're just going to end up wasting time during those 4 hours. Because at the end of the day, if you've got 4 hours blocked, but you don't know exactly what to work on, you're going to get distracted, work on something else, or just not even work at all. So how do you determine what you actually need to work on? What action steps are going to push the business forward? Well, let's go back to the example that we talked about earlier, getting customers. So if the main problem in your business is just getting the right amount of customers or bringing in enough customers, there are certain things that you can do in order to fix this. For example, there's going to be two main sides to your business when it comes to revenue and customers. You've got the retail side and the commercial side. So normal everyday people coming in, getting their cars serviced, and then dealer contracts. Maybe you wrap for a company, something like that. So for the retail side, you can implement two main things. It's going to be Facebook ads and Google ads. If you properly implement those two things, your business will not struggle with getting retail work anymore. Anytime you want more customers, you spend more on the ads, you get more in. Now, for dealers, you can set up cold email, and you can also just walk straight into the dealers. Then, once you've identified, okay, I've got these 4 things I can do Facebook ads, Google ads, cold email, and just walk into dealers. You're going to spend your time in those 4 daily hours working either on the back end of these, setting them up, getting them ready to run, optimizing them, so improving their performance, or actually executing actively. So replying to the leads that came in, going to the dealers, knocking on doors, doing what you need to do to lock up those contracts. Now, if you begin to run ads and you begin to start doing cold emails, going into dealers, and you spend 4 hours every single day, which realistically is not that much time. Like when you think about it, you've probably got 16 hours that you're awake. So 25% of your time you spend cold email, cold outreach, Facebook ads, and Google ads. And I promise you that the problem of not having enough customers is something that is quickly going to be solved. Your issue is going to shift over to something like the amount of employees you can get, the space in your shop, maybe optimizing profit margin at that point once you're at a higher scale, something of that nature. Now, going even deeper, when you're first setting things up, instead of just having launched Facebook ads as a task or something you're going to do, break it down even further and put it on a to-do list. For example, the first thing could be going through our free Facebook campaign structure guide that you can get for free using the link in the description below. Then once you've gone through that and you know exactly how to set up your campaign, next thing could be actually putting the campaign in Facebook, writing the copy, creating the video, etc. Actual steps that are moving that task down the line. Now, once you've done each of these, you've identified your main issue, found where your time is going, blocked off 4 hours for your main problem, you will 100% solve your main issue extremely quickly and actually be productive, not just busy. Doing work that pushes the business forwards and working on the business instead of in the business. Then the cycle will simply repeat. Once you've got enough customers, your new problem is going to be something else. Staffing, profit margin, space in shop, etc. Maybe you need a bigger place, and you're going to need to solve for that. This is a never-ending cycle. You're going to have growth, you're going to have a plateau, then you're going to identify a main problem, the one thing you need to solve, and then you're going to solve it and have more growth, and the cycle repeats. Now, if you want to fast track your growth and learn exactly how to set up Facebook ads, there's a free guide in the description below. Take a look at that. Otherwise, watch the video on the screen, subscribe, and if you want my team to implement all of our systems for you, book a call in the description below, and I will talk to you there.